Yeah, when you're feeling down and motivated in the midweek, we got the guys here to make your life complete. Little John, Brandon, Cody, Carly, they're coming in to keep you motivated all week. New episode, same time every week. Don't gotta wait long for the next one to release. So don't go away, sit down, take a seat, enjoy Midweek Motivation with John and Carly. Hey,
Midweek Motivation.
Let's go!
Looks like we might be having technical issues. Bear with us. Hey, give us a thumbs up if you can see us in the chat. Because right now I got a green screen. They can hear us? Is there a green screen, Darren? I'm working on it.
Some people on the front porch. I in some rocking chairs.
We're working on it.
While we wait on the green screen thing to get fixed, Cody's going to regale us with his rendition of I'm a Little Teapot.
Do that.
Regale is like a fancy word for, let's see. How would you define
Sitting
regale?
quietly? Waiting on the camera to work?
Sitting quietly in your rocking chair. Y'all can't see this right now, but you will see it shortly. We are sitting quite comfortably in some rocking chairs. At least most of us are. Not all of us got the cool rocking chairs.
I feel like a grandpa just mad at traffic.
I feel like you need a shotgun. A shotgun and a hat.
Yeah.
Maybe a dog sitting next to you,
Sweet
thinking
tea.
like a golden retriever. Sweet tea. All those good things.
All right, I think I got us now. I think. Yes, I got us. Not sure what happened, but
Good thing is we are masters of small talk.
all right. Well, hey, welcome to Midweek Motivation, real conversations with real people about a real God, and clearly we keep it real. If you couldn't tell by the green screen, the black screen, the Cody singing. Oh, you never sang it. Go
Probably
ahead.
shouldn't.
Probably shouldn't.
We're rolling now.
Think we might get shut down?
My agent might not like that I'm singing in public.
Well, hey, we are on the road, if you can't tell. This is always one of my favorite times that we get to go out and visit other churches and be at other ministries. And so we are here at Friendship House today. I told Hannah earlier we were going to Straight Street. Not sure why I said that, but we're not at Straight Street. So if I told anybody else that, I apologize. We are at Friendship House. And man, it's been really cool sitting here today, taking time to see kind of what's going on and get to see clients come here and see ministry in action, ministry in motion. And so basically what we're doing, last year we kind of kicked off this tour deal with Good Neighbor, and I still end up calling it Good Neighbor almost every time, but I'm not this time. We kicked off Good Neighbor tour last year, and then now we are doing our Undivided tour. And the vision for this, Megan's going to share some more, but it's essentially to be one church, the capital C church. And so we're excited. Thank you guys so much for joining us. Put in the chat. I didn't tell anybody to monitor the chat. I'll pull it up here in a minute. Darren's probably got it. He's monitoring the sound and everything for us. But I'm going to toss it over to Megan and let her kind of share a little bit about why we're doing the Undivided tour, and then a little bit about where we're at, and give the team from Friendship House a chance to share their heart, some of their ministries and their vision. So take it away, Megan.
Yeah. Hey, everybody. I think most of y'all have probably heard this story quite a few times if you're regular viewers, but for those that might be new today, basically the idea of Undivided came probably about a year ago when I was praying about what would the theme be, or what would be like our keyword or key verse for Missions Week. And I was praying about it and kind of like reading through the Bible. One word that really stuck out to me was undivided, from Psalm 86. So, we just decided to run with that. Carly has kind of a little undivided story as well. It kind of came to him in the middle of the night or in a dream or something.
I thought it was my idea.
Yeah. He tries to say this whole thing is his idea, but it was, no, I think God just confirmed it, through both of us. But anyway, it's a really powerful word because, David is really in this verse, he's talking about having an undivided heart. And, that's very personal. That's, he was asking God to help him to focus on God alone, and all these distractions, just to kind of fade away. And you can really be ready to say, here I am, Lord, send me, if you're completely focused on God and you have that undivided heart. So, as we talked about it in staff meeting, we realized that undivided can mean, an undivided staff, and in the church, an undivided church. And then, in your city, the undivided Big C church, and how, we are all the church, and we really need to work together to make a difference in our community and around the world. So that is where undivided came from.
Yeah. I love that idea of the capital C church. One of the things that kind of the vision that came to me in a dream one night was, so often people view the churches as different denominations, different races, different styles. And I think the heart of God is one church, his children gathering together, loving on the lost people, loving on the least of those. And so I just went to Megan and I just shared with her, hey, this is kind of what I'm seeing. I want people to see that, man, Parkway Church and other churches are not in competition. We're all on the same team. And so if Friendship House is doing something good, if Bedrock is doing something good, there's no need in us trying to reinvent the wheel. Let's partner. And I love that language that Megan uses as ministry partners. She was telling someone earlier that you guys are one of our ministry partners. And every time I hear that, I just envision the church being undivided. So thank you guys for being one of our partners, for being a partner in the community and what you guys do. And we're going to let you guys share a little bit about that.
Sounds good.
Yeah, so you guys do so many things. So I was telling Carly, I was like, I think the whole show, we need to let them talk because you guys just have so many things that you're doing here. So maybe what we can do is just start with like a little short history of how Friendship House started. You guys have been around for a really long time. And then just tell us about what you do here.
Sure.
This is Aaron, by the way, Aaron Dowdy.
Yes.
You can tell us more about yourself, but he's the director here at Friendship House.
Love that shirt.
Oh yeah, the cross conference.
Yeah,
You heard of
I
it?
love
Yeah.
it. I have.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I just completed 4 years here, but Friendship House just completed 85 years here in the neighborhood. We started out as a project of the WMU, which is a Baptist group called the Women's Missionary Union, and over the years has been in this location serving Old Southwest particularly. But several years ago, we became a separate nonprofit from the Baptist Association, and are now just reaching out to the one church in Roanoke, whether they're Wesleyan, Baptist, Presbyterian, Lutheran, really trying to connect the church with the community. We've always had kind of some bread and butter programs and ministries here that have been here the entirety of the 85 years, such as our food pantry, which we just finished up on this porch 20 minutes ago or so.
That was so cool.
Were you guys here for it?
Yeah,
they
that
were
was
here for
so
part of it.
Cool
Okay.
to sit here and, like I said at the top of the show, like literally see your ministry in motion. Man, that was so special. I'm so glad we got to be here to witness that.
Yeah, and the food pantry is it's really unique. It started out, when I first started here right before COVID, we would have 40 people come up in a week, and they would come and shop. We'd set up the inside like a shop, and they'd come pick what they wanted and go home. But then COVID hit, and we couldn't have folks coming in, and so we said, well, let's do a drive-through, like a Chick-fil-A drive-through line in the back, and folks can drive through. And then we're like, well, there's a lot of folks who can't get out of their house, who are elderly or disabled or just don't have transportation, and they're not supposed to leave their house. So we'll take food to folks who need it. And so from literally first week of COVID to the second week of COVID, we went from like 40 families to 150 families. And so now we're in that range still of like 130, 140 families every week.
Wow.
That get food, and it's a great opportunity just to meet folks where they're at, whether they're homeless or dealing with addiction, or just a single mom who's struggling to make ends meet, or even refugees. We have a couple dozen refugee families that get food from us as well. So just a real kind of entry level. This is a great opportunity to meet folks who just need some care. So that's been around from the beginning. Also, we have a children's program that's been around from the beginning. Wednesdays are kind of our crazy day, but it's also our exciting day because our food pantry is going on in the morning. I'll talk about our English class later. That we just finished with that as well, and then our children's program comes right in a couple hours. We have about 20 kids from 7 different schools in the area, from I think we counted 5 different nationalities that are involved, where we love on them to give them help with homework. Most of them are behind in school, so we're tutoring to helping them learn how to read. Most of them are learning English as a second language, and so they have that obstacle to overcome as well. So we're just walking alongside them. But every day we're making sure to share the Bible with them, to share the gospel with them. The vast majority of the kids that come to our program are unchurched. Either they're from a part of the world where they didn't have the exposure, or they're just local kids who just haven't grown up in the church. And so we want to plant these seeds now in these early years, and also try to form relationships with their parents and their families to connect with them in that way. And then last year we partnered with Restoring Hope. You want to talk more about Restoring Hope?
Yeah, so I'm Nancy Friesen, and I came on board with a year ago in February. I was with Restoring Hope Roanoke, and
Nancy's my friend, by the way. My really good friend.
And we came under the umbrella, I guess you'd say, of Friendship House a year ago. And so Restoring Hope Roanoke, now Restoring Hope, we really work closely with trying to connect churches, equip churches to better love their neighbors. And we started off using the Jobs for Life classes, which is a work preparedness class. It's biblically based. And have also a class called Faith and Finances, which is a financial education class. And we had that at Parkway a couple of years. Was it last spring?
Yeah, last spring. Yes. And it was a large group. That was cool to experience as well. Yes. That was awesome.
Yes. And That's another biblically based class, helping folks who are on the poverty line to build a spending plan and deal with debt and deal with relationships and how money affects their relationships and their relationship with God. What else? We also do the Helping Without Hurting seminar, which we've had at Parkway now 3 times.
2 or 3 times.
Yeah, 2 or 3 times, and getting ready to have another one in April at Lakeside Baptist. And the big thing is we're launching tomorrow is Linked to Hope, which I think we're going to talk about later.
Oh man, I can't wait to hear about that.
Everything I've heard sounds like we should have had them on the Good Neighbor tour.
Yeah. Well, we saved them.
Very
for
good
now.
neighbors.
Yeah, they
Because
are.
the fourth program is called.
Yeah, we have a fourth program.
That is a perfect lead-in.
Look at you segue like
It's
we
like
planned it,
made for
man.
this.
Yes.
So our after school program, our food pantry, the Restoring Hope program, and then our fourth program is our Good Neighbor program.
I love it.
We formerly called it the Refugee Housing Program, but we really we look at Luke 10 where Jesus says, "Your neighbor is." He's talking about the parable of the Good Samaritan, and he tells us essentially your neighbor is whoever you see that's in need. And so we kind of renamed it the Good Neighbor program, and it's primarily focused on refugees and immigrants who are first arriving in Roanoke. You can't really probably tell on the stream, but we are sitting on the front porch of a house. Friendship House is literally a house, and upstairs is a small little apartment, 1-bedroom apartment that for years was just being used as storage. It was staff housing, but we never needed it for staff housing. And so a few years ago, probably 6 years ago, my wife and I, Faith, were like, let's turn this into housing for refugees. There's a lot that come through this neighborhood. We have a heart for internationals. We used to live overseas. Let's open it up for families as they're first arriving into the country, give them a safe and secure place. They're literally coming off a plane sometimes or getting on a train from Washington, and they're arriving here with a backpack.
Wow.
And don't know where they're going to live, where they want to live. Let's give them a safe place so they can get their bearings as they try to find work, figure out what part of town they want to live in, and befriend them during this process. And so we had that apartment. We'd have a family come through for 3 months, 6 months, a couple families a year maybe. And then if they had kids, they could come to our after-school program. We'd get them a tutor or 2 tutors to help them with English. But then when the Afghan crisis occurred a few years ago, a lot more refugees just started kind of coming into Roanoke. And we had a couple of houses, you can almost see them from our front porch, 1 block down, that became available at basically a third of the market price. And we were able to raise money pretty quickly to buy them and renovate them. So we went from having this one little apartment to now we have a single family home down the street and a duplex, so 4 units that we can house families in.
That is so awesome.
And as that grew, we started to see we can't find a tutor for every single family that comes through here, because not only are we housing families, but families hear about us through word of mouth, and they come to us and say, "Hey, can you help me? Can you help me?" And so we started to say, "Well, maybe we should try doing an English class instead of just one-on-one tutoring. That way, we can serve more people." And so 2 years ago, we started English classes, not knowing who would come, and we ended up having all Afghan women coming, and it was great. So we said, "Okay, well, this is a women's class." And that worked well, and it grew from 1 class to 2 classes. And then we ended up hiring a man on our staff who is Haitian, and he started making a lot of contacts with the local Haitian community, which is pretty sizable. And a lot of the Haitians were like, well, and a lot of the men were like, well, why can't we come to the class? You guys need to have a men's class. We're like, all right. And so 2 summers ago, we started a co-ed class. And so now Parkway is actually partnering with us to host a class, a conversation group.
There's a large group coming to that class.
Yeah.
It's mainly Haitian. Probably 20 of them that come on Wednesday night.
That is so awesome to me.
So we have another church that hosts a class on Thursday nights, a co-ed class, and so we're so excited to have our refugee and our international neighbors stepping foot inside of churches where they otherwise wouldn't be, and they're coming face to face with the body of Christ, And so we have 3 different locations, 3 different churches that are hosting English classes. I was just there this morning at the women's class. We have about 40 to 50 women who come each week from Afghanistan, Syria, Haiti, and they're meeting volunteers from local churches who are loving on them and taking care of them. And so, so that the Good Neighbor program has kind of just exploded a little bit. I would say with the classes and
Of course, a lot of the families get food from us. We have a church that lets us store furniture. So when a family comes, they need a place for their apartments. We can stock their apartment with whatever they need. Linen. If you go in our basement here, it's full of dishes and utensils. If you go in Nancy's office, it's full of linens and towels. And so we're kind of bursting.
Yeah, sounds like we need to be praying for another house.
Yeah, we're praying for another house in another building. So if there are any churches out there that's relocating and has a building,
that's awesome.
Yeah, so it's just kind of blossoming, growing in that direction, and we're really trying to partner with churches like you guys, who might say, yeah, we can come alongside a family and be we call it good neighbor teams, and we'll walk alongside this specific family. Yeah. And as they're trying to figure out how to pick a doctor, how do I get my kids in a school, how do I figure out these things called Krogers and Walmarts that I've never heard of before. Yeah. They can just walk alongside them and be their friend.
That is great.
This process.
That is great. You keep mentioning Good Neighbor, and like I said, we did a Good Neighbor tour, but I do want to highlight a resource that we have. It's still on our webpage, correct? On our missions page, the Good Neighbor Guide.
The Good Neighbor Guide, yeah.
Yeah, we have Megan put together a Good Neighbor Guide.
With Nancy's help.
Yeah. And so you can go to parkwayroanoke.com/missions, and you can get a PDF version of that Good Neighbor Guide. And can you just, Megan, just briefly share a little bit what you guys have put into that so people know kind of what the Good Neighbor Guide is?
So I think Restoring Hope Roanoke did this originally. You guys had like a resource page.
Yes. Yeah.
And then you kind of sent me most of those resources, and I added a few and then just put them together in a booklet. So, and it's organized by like category, like if you have a heart for women, or if you have a heart for kids, or if you have a heart for refugees or whatever, then here are the organizations that are working in these areas, and here's their contact information. Here are the programs that they have. So it's just a way to kind of put everything in one place. So people, that do have a heart for these things can know what ministry activity is already happened in our community. There's no real need to invent the wheel, because there's so many amazing organizations that are gospel-centered that are reaching out to our neighbors. And I just want to reiterate kind of something that Aaron said. Some of these people who are coming into our country are meeting a Christian for the very first time.
Yeah.
These are people who are fleeing from war or crisis or whatever it might be, and there is no church or Christian or pastor or Bible even where they came from. Yeah. So this is a great opportunity for Christians to step up and be the church and show them Christ for probably the very first time in their life.
Absolutely. Yeah, that's awesome. So again, if you want to check out that Good Neighbor Guide, you can go to parkwayroanoke.com/missions. I think Darren may be putting it in the chat.
It's posted in the chat.
I figured it was.
Thanks,
you were
Darren.
over there typing away. Yeah. Hey, speaking of chat, do we have anybody in the chat? Anything that we want to share? Maybe some questions or anything like that? No?
I don't know. I'm lagging pretty bad.
Susan says you look like you lost some weight.
Oh, I'll take it. I'll take it. I don't think I did, but hey.
We got a lot of love for our green screen edition of Midweek Motivation. I think
it probably looked better than the usual that they get with us. So we got a better looking crew today than we normally have, though. So thank you guys for making us look good.
Brandon's not here, so
that instantly helped. All right. Well, if we don't have anything else in the chat, you guys want to share a little bit more? Megan, what you got?
Yeah. So I think I want to give a few minutes to Nancy to talk about something really huge, actually, that's happening. I mean, there's press releases and everything out there about this event tomorrow. So Nancy, tell us about that.
So where to start? So about 4 years ago, almost 4 years ago, we got a call from a group down in Tampa that wanted to know if we would work with them to develop this online platform that was going to help folks who are in need. And so that was 4 years ago, and tomorrow, we're going to be launching it across the city, and it's called Link to Hope, and the 2 is the number 2. This is a platform that is designed to build circles of support. Help folks who are struggling to find a community of support, to find resources in the community. For those who really need some help with something, to find someone who can help them. Just a couple weeks ago, I think there was a gal who needed rails put on her front steps in order to meet the home insurance guidelines. And one of our volunteers went over and took a few trips, I think, but got that done. And it was a real blessing to them. Kind of it was refreshing to them to find someone so willing and so kind to help. Excuse me, I'm going to have to cough. But Link to Hope is for everybody, because there's a place there for you to volunteer and to connect with folks in your community that you might never meet.
Yeah.
There's a place to find resources to learn. Churches especially can go on and they have an account and invite volunteers. They can connect with folks in the community that may not otherwise come through their door. You can put out events that are happening at your church. Maybe it's just you have a regular support group that's meeting, or classes, or a special event that's outreach focused. You can put that on Link to Hope. You can put on your,
Awesome.
an article or video that you find especially helpful for folks on there as well.
Yeah.
There's lots of ways a church can use it.
Is it an app yet, Nancy?
It's not actually an app, because Link to Hope is going to be in different cities around the country. We're the first city.
Oh, wow. Nice.
So yes, Roanoke's the first city, and once it's we get all the kinks worked out and it's really close, then it's going to be passed on to other cities. I know there's a group in South Carolina that's already gathering their list of
South
providers
Carolina.
to put on. I think they've got interest for some groups in Texas maybe, and yeah, there's a few other cities that are waiting for this to come.
Yeah.
And but we're the first ones, which is pretty cool. They and I think Roanoke is a really good place to start it.
Yeah.
Because we're a small city compared to others in Virginia and around the country, but we've got all the big city problems.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I don't know, we have a great presence here of churches that are ready to work together, and organizations that are working closely with the churches and really value that. So it's a really good place for Link to Hope to be there, because our focus is always to be relationships. We don't want it to be like it's a place for handouts. We want it to be a place where you can build connections and relationships.
I think what you guys are doing is not a handout. I think you're giving people a hand up. You're helping them up. You're helping them with situations that maybe otherwise they couldn't help, and it's not just a handout. But what I like most, just from hearing you talk, is what a resemblance of the early church, the Acts 2 church, the small community, small group atmosphere. That's what I'm hearing is, hey, we're, in a way, we're getting back to the basics of what the Bible taught us about the church is supposed to be. Not holy huddles of different denominations, but let's come together, let's be undivided, and let's be the capital C church. And that's what you guys are doing. You got community members coming together who have different resources, different skill sets, coming together to create these groups and these circles to be able to be what it is, a link to hope, a helping hand up. I love it, man. I'm excited.
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah.
We are excited to see this finally get to this point.
Yeah.
There's been a lot of effort going into it. Megan was part of our steering, or is part of our steering committee.
Nice.
That's kind of helped us to get from a year ago, I guess we started. We knew we were going to be launching really soon, and to get all the pieces together to get it citywide.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love it. Is there a website? Darren, have you already found it?
Go to linktohoperoanoke.org.
Linktohoperoanoke.com.
And again,
Darren's probably already got it in the
It's
chat.
in the chat, and if you can't see
The
in
two
the chat,
is
you
a
can
number.
use the
Is the
Google
number
machine.
2? Yes.
Yeah. Darren, we got anything in the chat right now?
We do, yeah. We actually had a question come through in the chat.
All right.
Asking about volunteers. So my wife runs a school, and they're always looking for places or students to volunteer. So would you take some of our crazy middle school and high schoolers as far as volunteers?
One of
Or
those is my
if
kid.
somebody out there listening is looking for some place to volunteer, how can they get involved, and what kind of things could they volunteer to do?
Yeah, so maybe, let us know, how can they get up with you guys, website, and then maybe what volunteering would look like, how they can get involved.
Sure.
And Darren will put it in the chat.
Yeah, on our website, friendshiphouseroanoke.org. There's a page. There's a for volunteers who want to come individually or as families. There's an application they can fill out on the website. There's also a group form. So if a group like a class or a team or a business wanted to come, they could fill out a group form and tell us what they're interested in. And we pride ourselves in being very open to volunteers of kind of all walks of life. So we have whole families that come. We have homeschool moms who bring their kids. We have retirees. At our food pantry, we have sometimes we'll have a couple kids who are homeschooled. We have a retired dentist who comes, and then in our after school program, we have teenagers who are getting out of school and they come and help. We have college students. We have moms and dads who come and read. We have retired teachers who come and will fix snacks and read to the kids. And so we really pride ourselves, especially if you have kids, bring them with you. I've got 5 kids and almost all of them are here throughout the week. And so we say, bring your kids, because that way, my kids will have something to do. But no, it gives them a chance to really see the body of Christ at work and how to really meet needs and to be part of it. And so, so we welcome volunteers. Classes.
Do we have any immediate needs for volunteers?
Yeah,
we have several needs. We have we could always use more people in our after school program, especially probably Thursdays and Fridays in the afternoons. We are always in need of drivers, so either folks who are okay with picking up folks and bringing them to our English classes. We pride ourselves in being the only English program in the area that provides both transportation and childcare.
Wow.
There's several in the area, and there's probably some better than ours, but we pride ourselves on the relationships we're building with these families, and the fact that we're giving the opportunity to overcome these obstacles where they have 3 kids at home under the age of 5 and they can't take them anywhere, and they can't get anywhere because they don't have a car. So we have churches who volunteers will drive their church van and go pick up folks, and we have folks with a minivan or just a sedan, and we'll go pick up 1 or 2 ladies and bring them to class. And so we also deliver food. We can always use folks who would be willing to deliver food to families in need. We could always use more English tutors.
We have a faith and finances class starting next Tuesday night, and we could use another couple more ladies who would like to be an ally, we call it, which means you come to class and you're an encourager and advocate for one of the students.
Awesome. Do you guys have any material needs right now? Of course, I know you could always. We're praying, and we're believing. But is there anything like somebody they're like, man, I want to make a donation, or I want to give you guys something? Is there anything materially that you guys have that is an urgent need?
We're always taking canned goods and non-perishable items for our food pantry. We go through a lot of food. We've been blessed with quite a bit over the last couple of weeks, but it goes quick.
Do you have a drop-off area for that, or?
Yeah, we're sitting on it. Right? Our back porch. Yeah.
Gotcha.
But we're here basically all week. Okay. If folks do sometimes drop stuff off on the porch, which is fine too. We do take gently used or new linens, towels. We're always kind of low on those for families that are just arriving in the country. Utensils, plates and dishes, clothes. I mean, we have a clothes closet that was literally a closet in the back room here that we just kind of outgrew, and so a church opened up one of their Sunday school rooms, and now it's being housed in the church.
Wow.
And so we take all of our clothes over to the church, and so. We take gently used clothes. We do take furniture. That's another volunteer need. If there's folks ever willing to help us pick up furniture, deliver it to families. My wife kind of oversees that, and there's like once or twice a month she has groups from churches they'll come out on a Tuesday night or a Friday night, and we'll go around pick up furniture. And if we can, take it straight to a family who's waiting for a bed. So many families we meet for the first time and they're sleeping on a couch or on the floor.
Wow.
Or they don't have anything except just maybe a table or something.
Yeah.
So
You mentioned they could drop it off here at this location. Can you give us that address just so people are aware where we're at?
Yep, we're at 635 Elm Avenue Southwest. We're right on Elm Avenue. If you're coming out of downtown towards Wasena, you'll pass us. We'll be on the right hand side.
Awesome. Thank you for sharing that.
And you can access us from the alley between 6th and 8th.
That's how we came in.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's how I tried to come in, but I missed a couple turns.
We're kind of hard to get to in the back sometimes.
Yeah.
Bunch of one-way streets.
Yeah.
So
I just want to put something out there to Parkway people or anybody that comes across this, you have all kinds of that stuff that they just mentioned sitting around your house in your way that you're even bothered by. Like, do something good with it and donate it to an organization like this that can put it to immediate use, and that is God-centered. So I'm going through my basement now in my head.
Yeah. I was going through my closet, my basement, like, man, I got a lot of stuff.
I got a couple kids I could drop off.
That was my
He
thought.
said
I
ki-
figured
he
you
said
can
kids were
give me a
welcome.
couple free volunteers.
Put them to work.
2:30 to 4:30.
Just keep them.
2:30 to 4:30. Drop your kids off. Actually, stay with your kids. Don't drop
Don't do
them off.
that.
Yeah.
If they're of volunteer age, sure, but
We will put them to work.
Oh, there's one other need I think of, again, for our Faith and Finances class. If you like to cook, we start our classes with a meal. And there's
And it normally smelled pretty amazing,
yeah,
too.
we get some good food. So if you like to cook and would like to cook for this class, it'll be about 10, 12 people, I think, in the class. I don't have, actually, I don't have the link with me for you to put in the chat, but because it's a sign-up genius.
I can put it on. I'll put it on Facebook.
Yeah,
Yeah.
okay. She'll add it
Yeah,
later.
on the missions page.
Yeah. When and where is this class? You may have already
It's going to be
said
at
it.
Waverly Place Baptist Church, Tuesday nights at 6 o'clock,
All right.
starting March 5th,
Starting March 5th.
through May 21st.
Awesome. Thank you for sharing that.
And we have Parkway Off the Mountain.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Go ahead. Let's
Yeah.
talk a little bit about Parkway Off the Mountain. Good segue there.
Yeah, so we're gonna each month do a different serving opportunity somewhere in the community. Kind of make it easy for people at Parkway to jump in and get involved in our community. So we did Straight Street this month, which was really awesome. It was last week, I think, or the week before. Last week, we did a whole week of different serving opportunities down there. Had a really awesome time with them, and so next month is going to be with Friendship House. Woo-hoo. So tell us a little bit about what that's going to look like, Aaron.
Yeah, so Saturday, March 23rd, our clothes closet, which we call the Blessing Shop, is going to be open all day. Normally, it's open for a couple hours on Wednesdays, but once a quarter, we'll just open up on a Saturday and say, "Come one, come all, clear us out," so we can kind of, as the changing of the seasons, we can kind of restock it with everything else, and so we'll have anywhere from 70 to 100 families that'll come throughout the day to basically get whatever clothing they need. And also we'll set out for, that's where we have our furniture ministry. So we'll set out extra furniture. If we have extra like dishes and utensils and linens and towels, hygiene packs, we'll set all that out. And we could always use more hands on deck, especially church groups or volunteers that want to come and help greet people, be a friendly face, help them as they're picking their clothes out. We also need help setting up tables, tearing down tables. Families usually bring their kids, and we try not to have kids coming into the shop just because it gets chaotic. And so the church we hosted at has a huge playground, and so we love to have volunteers who just go to the playground and run wild with the kids while their parents are shopping.
That is
And so that's going on all day on the 23rd of March, which is a Saturday. And it's really just an opportunity for the church to like come out and say, how can we like in a unique way serve you guys? Whether it's picking up a couple families that live out of the way and don't have to wait here. There's a church that's going to do it in the summer with us, and they have a guy who's an optometrist, and he's going to maybe do some screenings for families.
Oh, that is so
if like
great.
even if it's just something kind of off the wall like that where we wouldn't normally think about it, but they can we can meet needs that they wouldn't normally have met. Our English class, just about the optometrist, a lot of the women that come to our English class have never had their eyes checked,
Oh,
and they don't know. Like they just, and so we're our teachers look at them and they're squinting and they're not seeing what's on the board, and so just having someone like that available who can just quickly, assess what their needs are,
Man, that
be
is
helpful.
so awesome.
Yeah.
I think the coolest thing about listening to you talk is, so we're talking a lot about volunteers, a lot of different opportunities for volunteers. I can't think of a single excuse anybody can come up with for like, oh, I can't volunteer at Friendship House. Like, I mean, if you got a pulse, it sounds like you can find a space for somebody to
you.
volunteer.
There's something you could do, yeah.
Yeah, if you have a pulse, then our English teachers, we say if you can speak English and if you love Jesus, come on. That's all the requirement basically. And so so if you've got a pulse, if you love Jesus, come on. We can put you to work. So
That is great, man. This has been great. We're getting close to our time, so I know we've kind of already shared a whole lot of information. Megan, do you have anything else that you wanted to share before we wrap up?
I'd say we've covered a whole lot.
Yeah, we have. So one thing I just want to ask you one more time, if you could just let our viewers know a phone number, email, website, just a way, just remind them of a way. I know it's in the chat, but just remind them real quick of a way that they can connect with you guys.
Yeah, you can find us. Our website's friendshiphouseroanoke.org. You can also find us on Facebook. That's a pretty active feed there. Our phone number is 540-343-5437. Those are probably the best ways to reach us.
Awesome.
Facebook, website, or phone.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and then you can always connect through Megan. We have a really solid partnership with Friendship House, and we're excited to see it continue to grow. We've given you a lot of ways and even reasons to be the hands and feet of Jesus, to help us reach the lost and love on the least. People who maybe have never encountered the love of another person like this, but even more so, people who have never encountered the love of Jesus Christ and the love that our Father in heaven has for us. And so I just encourage you, let this just spark something in you to take that next step and just go all in. Go all in. You never know the impact that you're going to have through something like this. I just think back, and I can't share the name for obvious reasons, but I think back to an individual that we got to baptize several months ago, and just the story of that individual and them meeting Christ and wanting to be baptized and take that next step. And those are a lot of times things that we can't publicize because of where they came from or family being in different places. But you never know what that one conversation in an English class or what that one can of soup, you never know what it's going to do. So I just want to encourage you guys online watching now or watching on demand, take action. Be the church, be the capital C church. Let's be undivided. And if you got gently used things laying around your house that's just collecting dust, man, that would be like gold for some people who have never had something like that. So again, I just encourage you to take action. In the chat, Darren has put ways that you can take action and ways that you can get more information. So anything before we wrap it up in prayer?
I don't think so.
Sweet. Well, hey, thank you guys so much for letting us be with you and take time and come and hang out. And thank you guys who were watching online. As always, just remember to put in the chat and let us know that you're here so that we can love on you. And then also the number is on the bottom of your screen there. Just text the word motivate to 540. I forgot the rest of it. It's on the bottom of your screen. Text that number. We want to be praying for you. We want to be there for you. And speaking of prayer, I'm gonna call on my man Darren to close us out in prayer.
Hi, Father, thanks so much for the great work that you're doing here at Friendship House and doing through the volunteers and the staff here. And we just so appreciate each and every one of them and appreciate the opportunity to be a part of it as Parkway. And I pray right now that you would stir in the people who are listening to this a desire to volunteer in some way and get involved. Maybe that's even just sitting back and praying. Maybe it's picking up furniture, teaching some of those English classes, whatever that is. Pray that you would stir in people's hearts to get involved. Maybe that's through Parkway Off the Mountain. Whatever it is, would you use people to be the hands and feet of Jesus here at Friendship House? Could you continue to bless the ministry here and the work here? Just pray that you would continue to be present in it. Pray for the clients that are the recipients of the ministry here. We pray that they continue to meet and to know you. We love you, Jesus. Amen.
Hey, thank you guys. This has been another great episode of Midweek Motivation, real conversations with real people about a very real God. Stay motivated. Love you guys.
1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, when you're feeling down and motivated in the midweek, we got the guys here to make your life complete. Little John, Brandon, Cody, Carly, they're coming in to keep you motivated all week. New episode, same time every week. Don't gotta wait long for the next one to release. So don't go away, sit down, take a seat, enjoy Midweek Motivation with John and Carly. Hey.